meeting by abruptly ending the meeting, and if I stopped anyone from asking questions, my apologies.
Accept it. I accept it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
That's no problem.
All right, ready? Bill? Couple minutes, I'll take a sip of coffee.
Apparently my video is not working. Can you just log in and see if it's working?
This recording is.
That's the recording started. Yeah, but can you see us? Nope. I can see it.
That owl was blinking. Oh, its eyes are blinking.
Like that.
Is it blinking?
It was blinking and then it went off and then it blinked again and stayed on. I don't know if that.
Oh,
means
it's
anything.
blinking now.
Yeah, you're frozen on my end. But there have been connectivity issues throughout the community, so I wonder if
It's just,
when you're related. That's funny because we didn't work for the last meeting.
The same platform?
Yeah.
Oh. Can't blame it on Teams.
No, I can't blame it on Teams. It's, well, I could blame it on Teams. Just gonna- Maybe that would make it easier.
Come on, I'll be over there, phone.
Fred, what are you doing? That's okay.
does John push you over on a regular basis?
Well, if I get my paper too close to him, because he spreads out too, right? So you're kind of crowding me there.
Oh, looks like we're on the hour now.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, John's in Mexico.
Yes, so regrets from John and from Fred.
You see us big on the screen now?
So I feel like I'm kind of outnumbered.
Everybody else can hear us?
Big, like when I was on council for a term.
Yeah, I get outnumbered over there.
Let's hope that works.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good to
My
go.
vote's not gonna count, I do tell.
So I'd like to call the regular council meeting of Tuesday, March 12th to order. I respectfully acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Quabog people, Gaelic Texas.
Yes,
May I have approval of the agenda as presented, moved by Councillor Duguid, seconded by Councillor Smith. All in favor? Carried. Minutes for special council meeting held February 13th, 2024 for adoption. Moved by Councillor Sherwood, seconded by Councillor Texmall. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. Minutes of the regular council meeting held February 27th, 2024 for adoption. Moved by Councillor Texmall, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations. We have action item report of February 27th for information. Any comments? Councillor George?
I just have a question about acronym. What does TOR approve?
Terms of reference.
Thank you, thank you. In my business, it means time on risk. So I have a hard time getting other
they're all
things
different,
right.
we're different, right?
CEO Nelson Smith?
I do have one update. So we have been waiting on the archaeological permit that was submitted for the Beaver Harbor Park bequest. And so after some page rattling, We've actually now been notified that our application is being reviewed at this point in time, so hopefully we'll be able to get a favorable response to be able to move forward on that project. So the contractors have been notified that it has moved up to that level.
which is such good news.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. So we have half masking, excuse me, of the District of Port Hardy flag on March 8th for ratification. We had done this recommendation previously, and so this is for ratification, moved by Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Dorwood. All in favor? Carried.
I'd just like to make a comment that the family really appreciated us doing that. Just passing it on.
I was sorry to miss the service. but-
Yeah, I did get up and say a little bit with on behalf of the district because of our relationship over the years.
Yeah.
As an employee and as a mayor and whatever. And I did send the regrets that you weren't able to come, and it was a good turnout. It was nice. It was very nice service. They did a poppy service, which I've never been to one before. They do poppies and then they do the Canadian Legion was there and or our Legion here, Port Hardy Legion, and they do it's sort of like a real formal affair where you have, everybody gets a poppy when they come in, and then there's a time when you come in and everybody puts their poppy. And I guess it's sort of like it's kind of like a pin of felt type of a thing, with got medals, his medals and all that on it, was pretty cool. And what was interesting, and he was in Squadron 101 as a pilot, and there was actually 101 poppies pinned in that. They said, which was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I'd just share that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. So under new business, we have the Federation of Canadian Municipalities read the call to action, combating harassment on International Women's Day for discussion. So I brought this one forward to discuss because I thought it was really important, not only not to have harassment and intimidation affecting, which disproportionately affects women
Mhm.
in politics, but to also perhaps encourage a Federation of Canadian Municipalities to include municipal staff, administrators in particular. So I thought we'd bring this forward for discussion.
Mhm.
Any comment?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that's important because even though there's a lot of negativism that's coming through media and whatever sources that people are using to attack those in politics, women specifically, they seem to be getting hit harder than guys, but I think that our staff takes it too. Like people that work for the municipalities, especially Heather and her staff, I mean, they get hammered, right? And I think that it shouldn't be inclusive. And I think that this particular, I think it's great, but I think that they need to add more to it. So I think it would be fitting that if we sent a letter off to them, stating that we think that they've got to be more broader and more inclusive with regards to people that work in this why I would say industry, but the service that we provide to the public, I think would be important. That's my personal opinion anyways.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Under correspondence, we have from Heather O'Hara, Executive Director, and Wiley Wysted, Chair, BC Association of Farmers Market, with BC Farmers Market Nutrition Coupon Program at Port Hardy. And they have a very nice letter. And I have to say how important this coupon program is to the BC Farmers Market. And in Port Hardy, having it here last year, well, it says how much money was redeemed and how incredibly thankful the people were that had these coupons that went through. And we're hoping to have it with the BC Farmers Market or the Port Hardy Farmers Market as well. We're just waiting for the application form and to get the form in. BC Farmers Market knows that there will be a submission. There's already a society that's going to be sponsoring it. And so I think it's just going to grow. And
No pun intended.
No. Oh, I missed that one.
Just like lettuce.
So, sometimes. So if anyone actually that is listening on this is interested in being involved with the farmer's market, you don't have to grow very much. Sometimes I would be at the market and I would just have some lettuce or a few peas or whatever, and they could use it. So it's anything that is nutritional. So it's fresh vegetables or herbs, or you have honey or whatever, and the vendor is redeemed the full amount.
Pretty cool.
It is very cool. So there is a request to us to write a letter of gratitude and support to the Ministry of Health, our Minister of Health,
Mhm.
the Honorable Adrian Ditz.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll
Ken.
second that motion.
Any other comments?
I think it's a great program.
Thank you. The seconder was Counselor Texma. All in favor? Very, thank you. From Jamie Justice, resolutions of policy analyst, Union of BC municipalities regarding provincial response to 2023 resolutions for information. Comments?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. You get it first.
Counselor Texma?
so this is kind of like my first seeing of some responses that I'm just like baffled by, of just like straight up like, don't address anything to do with what we
Yeah.
asked for in any way, just by deflecting. And here, this is what we do, but we're not gonna answer your question, no, or yes, or anything, just deflection. Am I wrong in that, or like the way I interpret it is just,
Totally right on, buddy.
just
Right on.
nothing, which is crazy, like. Cause I'm new, do we go again with a UBCM with the same things, or are we just gonna get the same answers here? And this is obviously important to us, right? Like,
They won't let you bring the same thing. again.
they don't, eh?
They don't let you bring the.
So it's basically just shut down.
Well, if you bring it forward, they go to the resolutions committee and they're like, oh, we already had this last year
Right,
or in
okay.
2020 or whatever.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yes, it is
That's
frustrating.
all I have to say, it's just very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, the first one was like, forget it, didn't even
Well,
answer our
100%,
question.
yeah.
Second one, well, they had a really long explanation, but it really didn't tell us anything. And what I found was interesting in that, when they were talking about iced tea and go to the Ministry of Finance and borrow money or whatever, that's all great. And they had all these other things that we can get the money for. But one of the interesting things that they said in there was, oh yeah, but there's always the Northern Development Initiative Trust. And I'm thinking, we're not even in that group. I mean, do your homework. We're iced tea. Well, we can't go to the north. If we could, that would be wonderful, because then we go after it, but we can't. So, yeah, and the other interesting thing they said when that was right, the Vitalization Tax Exemption Program. Do you know what that's all about, Heather?
So
With regards to the downtown revitalization, to go get extra taxes from, how does that work? Do you
I'll
know?
get to it and report back. I just don't want to give you, I know the inner workings, but I'll have to read it again. to
Okay.
give you a proper report back, if that's okay.
I was just like, okay, how do we go about doing that? Even if we want to do something like that. Because it talks about reduction in property taxes. It also talks about business improvement area taxes and to improve the area that you can actually tax extra for the businesses in that particular area and take those taxes and put it back into the growth. I don't think we win on that one either, so, yeah, but again, it doesn't say anything about us getting to what we actually asked for. With regards to the downtown revitalization grant program, it says nothing about that.
Thank you. Dale Nelson Smith.
Yeah, so if you'll let me report back, because there are two different ways to, well, there's actually quite a few different ways you can administer the revitalization tax program. One of them is basically what we would be the ones administering that, and that would be the fund that we would
Yeah.
then create. And so you create these pots of money, and then you can hand that stuff out. And lots of communities have been very successful, but there's also been a lot of communities that have been able to access additional funding in order to support that. So they're not pulling full 100% from that business. I think the issue that council was bringing forward is our businesses are already suffering, and that they need a little leg up, so they don't want to be taxed more in order to get a little bit something later. So I can definitely report back on what schemes could be if that's council's desire.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay. From Terrence Hoffman, Chair, Hardy Bay Senior Citizen Society, request for a barrier. So she's requesting a concrete barrier either donated or to purchase. CAO Nelson Smith.
If I could just give everybody a bit of a background on this. So when they had their generator installed, in order for them to be able to get compliance, they had to have a barrier put in and they didn't have a barrier. So the district was called upon and asked if we could donate one until they could get another one to replace it. And so now they're asking us to either donate the one that they have or help them purchase one. So the cost of the barrier is $483. Just so that if there was going to be a motion to give anything from the grant aid, that would be what.
Councilor Dukas.
It's just a clarification. So they do have one there already
It's
that we
ours.
put there. So now, okay, I got it. I was sort of the understanding that maybe we had one in the area. They wanted it moved over there, but they already got one. Which is ours.
Yeah.
So, okay, got it.
On loan.
On loan, yeah, until we give it to them. Okay, got it.
The tax.
What barrier are they talking about here? Like, cause I obviously know what the generator is, but like, and
Yeah.
it's behind kind of a lip of concrete, like, what do they mean?
So if I could.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So the lip of concrete was not enough
Yes,
in order for them to get the okay from the permittee. And so we put in one of the bigger, what is it, 1.5 foot high
Yeah.
barriers, the big yellow ones.
oh, okay,
So that somebody couldn't go over the curb and then
Hit
still hit it.
generator. Yeah,
yeah, is it a generator or the propane
The
tank?
propane tank.
Propane tanker,
protect the propane tank.
okay.
From impact by vehicle.
Yes, insurance.
That might be a term in there.
Councilor.
Presuming we have enough money in our grant and aid, I'd like to make motion that we donate that barrier to them.
I'll second.
Mhm.
And would this come from the 2023 grant and aid? Yes, yeah.
Awesome, there, yes, we're going to, if I may.
Yes. Sorry, I looked at you.
Yeah, we'll, take the surplus and move it into our 2024 grant and aid so that we have that coming each year so that we're not going backwards, especially because we have this 3-month window where we're waiting for the approvals all the time to get the financial plan finished. If you want to say anything more than that.
No, you got it.
Yeah, so I'll put the $483 in here.
Councilor Smith.
We're borrowing it just from it being spare hanging out in the, oh, perfect, yeah. That's-
Okay, any other questions?
Good one.
All in favor? Carried. Letter from Stephanie Hunt and family regarding support needed for Looney Cooney fundraiser and donation request. Councilor Jackson.
What could the district donate?
I think this one's a really challenging issue because we all feel for the family, but there's so many families that have to send other family members down to hospital
Mhm.
that, I don't know if this would fall under our grant and aid funding. Sorry.
Just, in the past, recipients of the grant and aid funding have had to be a society or
Or
other,
sports team or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
as opposed to individuals. I believe that's what the policy.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. I guess, Mayor, my only concern is that, yeah, I feel for the family because like, as you already mentioned, there's a lot of families that go through the same issue. But if we would approve this particularly for any family, this one being an ask, where does it stop? And how would we make the determination who gets it and who doesn't? That would just put us in a really bad position, I think. As a municipality, as individuals, if we want to support somebody individually, that's our choice, but as a municipality, I don't think that this fits what the intention is for our grant and aid. That's my personal opinion.
know that our CAO is looking for, policy on policy. Deputy corporate officer.
I have the policy here.
Oh, gee, look at you. Tell us what it says, deputy.
So it says council must assign all budget allocate funds for disbursement to nonprofit groups which will be evaluated.
So it has to be a nonprofit.
Deputy corporate.
Thank you. So I guess receive and file. What about writing back to Stephanie Hunt and just say it doesn't fall within our policies? And we're sorry. Okay, under committee reports, we have our draft minutes of the committee, of the whole meeting held February 27th, 2024 for information. And we have a recommendation from the committee of the whole, recommending to council that the district accept the 20 responsibilities of the one of the ones. Accept the 20 responsibilities once the Twinning Society dissolves.
Mhm.
Comments?
Maybe somebody just would like that little explanation of what that means.
So just for the public's knowledge that the Twinning Society has been operating for almost 30 years. And they've run out of volunteers to run the society in a nutshell. And so this has always been under the auspices of the District of Port Hardy. So because the Twinning Society is having challenge in getting volunteers, the District of Port Hardy will take over the Twinning Society and well, not take over the society, but will take over the responsibility of the twinning. And will still have a twinning relationship with Nevada, but it just won't be run through the Twinning Society.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you. May I have a motion to move by Councillor Darwood,
Second.
seconded by Councillor Dugas? Any comments?
Just great work for those volunteers for so many years and
Yes.
well done.
Yeah, maybe it's due to have, be good to have a letter of appreciation, of thank you to them for all the hard work they've done for so many years from the
Absolutely.
district.
Great. All in favor? Carried. Under staff reports, we have the finance department, the February 2024 check and EFP list report information. Any questions, comments?
BC Hydro checks are too big.
We have from our Director of Operational Services, Jason Jacinto, regarding early allocation. So we have a motion on the floor. Director of Operations, do you want to speak to it at all?
Yeah, no, I think this is equipment that we might need to maintain our service level. Also with the fiber optic upgrade, we've been waiting quite a while to get this put in. Technology is increasing. We keep up with that technology. Plus with copper phasing out eventually, if we wait any longer, the price is going to go up. So we humbly request that you guys approve this early.
Perfect. I'll make a motion.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Texel. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Texel?
I'd just like to reiterate what Jason said about how important it is for that fiber line to get up there.
Mhm.
I see the effects on the software and have to work with the software as a programmer sometimes, and it's a pain over that copper, and that fiber is gonna make a huge difference for reliability and serviceability for the future. It seems like one of those back door items that people don't really know how important it is, but it's a very important item that is good. Very good.
Great.
CEO Nelson
I
Smith.
just wanted to add that I know that during budget discussions and as well as meetings that we've had with TELUS in the past, that we had tried to figure out a way to do a partnership to be able to do this, but we are the only recipient of this fiber upgrade, so
Mhm.
therefore we are unfortunately the ones who are gonna be paying for that. And of course, it just wasn't viable for them to put up a tower or anything like that on our property to service anything further at this point in time. It doesn't mean that those lines of communication aren't open.
Mhm.
No pun intended.
Oh, that's. Jason
Those
just caught
lines
us.
of communication, you gotta love it, eh?
Good, good.
Good.
Any other comments?
Oh, that's awesome.
All in favor? Carried. From our CAO, Heather Nelson Smith regarding water conservation for 2024. There is a recommendation from staff to activate state fund water restrictions on March 19th. And that a public education campaign be supported for the 2024 year. CAO Nelson Smith, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. First of all, does anybody have any questions about the information that's been provided so far? Okay, so just to kind of run through quickly the report, I just wanted to highlight that we are sitting at 30% less in our snowpack than anticipated. And of course, the rest of the province, there are still areas in the province that are still under drought 5 levels. And so I provided that information as well. We would like to institute the watering restrictions in conjunction with the spring startup in order to get people in tune with as their plants are growing, to get them conserving water before we end up in a situation where we have a dire need. We also have the impending water reservoir that which may or may not coincide with a summer exchange, which means that we'll end up going into stage 3 or possibly stage 4, potentially while we're going through that, depending on what those water levels are. We're trying to mitigate those risks as well. But ultimately what it's coming down to, and our Louisa here as our deputy is ramping up the education campaign so that we can get some more public knowledge out there. We'll also be doing more monitoring and bylaw enforcement in order to keep our levels where they are. Right now, we're sitting at a really good stand. We've got water being held back with an additional 4 inches at the dam. So we actually had a little bit extra this year than we had last year, because last year we couldn't get the boards in on time because we had all that snow. And so we had no access to the dam. We were raising those levels. So we weren't able to hold back when we started to lose all of that water. So it's a great opportunity for us to get that public education out there. But I think it's really important to highlight the differences, and you'll notice that all of the red showing the averages well below what we're normally seeing, and not, of course, we did have quite a bit of rain over the last couple of days, but of course we know that that doesn't equate to very much. The other thing that we've been talking about internally and is water conservation at the meter level. And then other things that we could do as well, we're planning for opportunities to be able to take advantage of ways to stop the evaporation at the lake. And so there are certain technologies that you could put in place. They're like white reflective balls that you can float in the lake that help to reflect the sunlight so that you stop that evaporation loss. And we know that last year we were evaporating at the same rate as what we were consuming. So we don't want to be losing double the amount of water. So there's definitely different strategies that we're looking at. And I know that Jason's department is also looking at what other opportunities there are for access to water should we ever end up in a situation where we need to have secondary access. So that's the rundown.
So I just wanted to mention too, that I'm in full support of this. But on the news and we were just talking before the meeting about how much we're looking forward to this weekend and the rise of temperature. And when I was watching the news, and I am looking forward to warmer weather and all the rest of it. However, that's going to melt all the snow that's currently on the mountains. And it's going to melt it really quickly. So we won't have that snowpack that a week ago we thought we would have. So it's interesting how the weather is changing everything. Councilor Smith.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with this. You know, it's pretty nerve wracking. It's all in my basement now. If you wanted the water, like I'm in the middle of getting all the water out of my basement.
No.
But maybe what we could do is, along with the restrictions, is maybe for people that like to garden, talk about rain barrels. Like you can even make your own with garbage cans and inverted lids and do some sort of ingenuity there so that I don't know, it's nice to have some positive with what we feel, oh no, restrictions, but it's so important, for our water. I don't know if we can do that alongside. Yeah.
Could we have a presence at CD Saturday or anything with Rain Barrel?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Can you tell me when CD Saturday?
It is April the first Saturday in April. I think it's at the 6th, April 6th, yeah.
6?
And it's at St. Columbus Church in the downstairs. Hope it's nice, or we could even put a tent outside and have a rain barrel to auction off or raffle off.
Good idea.
Anyhow, we'll leave that to
Jason doing.
So we have a recommendation, we had a first and second, right?
No, I don't think so.
No, all right.
No.
I'll second.
Moved by Councillor Dorwood, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any other comments?
I think I know what the level one things are, but I don't think it was included in this. Can you just get a reminder?
Yeah, so it actually isn't a big restriction. So all it is just watering on odd and even days, depending on where you live. When we start getting into stage 2 is when we start limiting, so now it's not just odd and even days, now it's just, well, it's hours in the day, but also it's only like Wednesday and Friday and Tuesday and Thursday, whereas right now in a stage 1, it's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the odd numbered houses, and then Tuesday the other way, because apparently I'm not reading the calendar very well. But you can still wash your car, you can still fill a
Yeah.
pool, you can do all those things, but it just helps to get people in tune to, you know, what watering restrictions are, and that we could end up in the same situation as last year. And then as you get into stage 2, then stage 2 ramps it up a little bit more, and then we say you can't water new lawns in stage 2, and you can't, you can wash your cars, but, no, stage 3, you can wash a car at a dealership, but you can't do it
Yeah.
on your own property.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's still limitations, but it just basically, so we just don't have people.
Councillor Texman?
Yeah, 100% in favor of this for sure. And I think one of the most important parts of this is the fact that we are doing an education campaign on why this is happening and what we're doing as the district and council and staff and everyone that's working hard to combat this, which is putting in a bigger reservoir, which is looking for extra sources of water and how we can keep the water in the lake, whether it be balls like they have in Vegas on their damn lake there.
Mhm.
But like that education campaign is gonna be huge so that people really need to know that we are starting to have problems with our water and we really need to start taking it seriously as a community, and everyone has to know that everyone has to do their part. I think this education campaign is gonna be a huge part in the success of that, so it's good. Thank everybody for working hard on that, because I think it's gonna make a big difference.
May I also suggest that we reach out to the RD and try and have Mount Washington-wide water conservation discussion. And I know I've talked to a couple of the other mayors from other communities on the North Island, and they're fully on board with that. At least 2 are anyways.
If I could, would you like council to write a letter to the regional district?
That would be great, yes, please. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Bylaw number 1172-2024, user rates and fees for 2024 amendment bylaw for first, second, and third readings.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved by Councillor Ted Dugas, seconded by Councillor Texmo. Any comments? All in favor? Carried. We have 2 pending bylaws. Bylaw number 1164-2023 amendment to zoning bylaw 1010-2015, and bylaw number 1133-2024 financial plan bylaw. All right,
I have a question.
yes.
When did they go into this category? Because I don't understand why the financial plan bylaws in there. I thought only when they've been motioned. So like, that got a first reading at least of this item 1,
Mhm.
1164-2023. but I don't think we've done any readings of the financial plan bylaw. And so I'm just wondering, it's really a technicality, but I just wonder why it's in there, like, why wasn't this one that we just passed in there, for instance? Does it belong in there?
I would agree that it doesn't belong.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
it should technically, the heading then should be pending and upcoming.
Yeah.
Right. But
Okay,
it's just pending.
It's just pending.
okay, thank
So it's just an oversight.
Okay, that's okay. I just
Upcoming.
Upcoming.
want to make sure
It's
that
coming.
I understood the.
you. It's coming.
You did understand. Good job.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Glad you were paying attention to that. I missed that altogether.
Seem to love technicalities.
Technicalities.
She loves that.
Follow the rules.
Council reports. Council Judith, seeing you're all by yourself over there on that side of the table.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Okay, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Jessica Bard Hardy attended the job fair. And I think we were the biggest booth by a long shot up there. We had really good attendance from our staff, so that was awesome. The businesses that I spoke to on behalf of VITES, the Vancouver Island North Training and Attraction Society, there was 14 of them that I talked to. And there wasn't any of them that weren't looking for somebody somehow, some way. So that was really, really interesting. We had a C2C meeting, which is a council meeting with the Quag Youth. And that was really, really good. Good opportunity to talk about how we could work better together, and looking forward to even more of those meetings coming up. Obviously, we continue to have Philomi Days meetings, so any of you that are interested in being volunteers for Philomi Days meeting, please come out and join us. I can't tell you when the next meeting is, but we just get a hold of Leighton Richard and or go on our Facebook page and you get a contact. We had finance meetings, which are going on, and I think I'm happy about what the taxes are gonna be, but we're not gonna say that right now because we're not there yet. But anyways, all looks good. GNN, they've had a couple of them now, but the last one they had was March the 6th. It was regards to emergency meeting with the tri-bands and with the District Port Hardy. And some of the highlights that I thought that came up was the concern about making sure that we have facilities for our youth and a safe place for them to be. There was there was an ask to the RCMP that they would be a little bit more proactive with regards to what's happening with the drug dealers in our particular area in the North Island. Island Health, and basically our MLA, Michelle Babchuk, was there, and Island Health people from Indigenous Services, no, it wasn't Indigenous Services Canada, but it was
First Nations.
First Nations Health Authority were there, which was awesome. And they are definitely setting up more help up here for us. So that was great. And they talked about a tri-band, which is our three First Nations in our particular area. District Port Hardy looking at youth coordinators and working more with the youth in our area. As unfortunately, we've had a lot of losses in our area in the last month or two. And we need to work with them to find ways to make it better for everyone. And we're there 100% to support them and do whatever we can do to help them in that area. And I really like the idea that the mayor just brought up that we should reach out to our regional district of Mount Washington about water restrictions, because I think that's really important moving forward. Anyways, that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilor Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Just have the C2C meeting on there. I really enjoyed sitting down for dinner with the Quag Youth. I think that, I don't know, I got a really good feeling from that. We're all wanting to work together, and I certainly look forward to bringing all communities together for that and doing some good work. I think that, I'm excited about that. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilor Texma.
We had the finance meeting, and also again reiterating on the Quag band meeting the C2C. I was really happy to be there, meeting people, discussing all these tough issues, and really putting our heads together to work for a common goal, which is to help our youth and help the people that are suffering right now. And the conversations that were had were really good. And I feel really good about them. And then I feel that these are gonna be followed up and progress is gonna be made. And I was essentially just proud to be a part of that. So I would like to thank them for meeting us and essentially sitting over breaking bread and talking about how we can make things better. I went to the Rexall grand opening with Janet. And it's awesome. I don't know if anyone's been there in a while, but the store looks great. They have so many new things there. They put a lot of hard work into that, and I'm hearing nothing but great things in the community about everything that they have there. And for me, on my, my level, I guess I'm just happy that they're putting that kind of money into the store and they're a healthcare amenity in our community. So that just means a better healthcare service in our community as far as the pharmacy goes, as well as groceries and everything like that. So I would definitely thank them for all their hard work and their dedication to our community to bring that service. And it was it was the first time I ever got to actually use a giant pair of scissors to cut a ribbon. I thought they were always a joke, but they actually have them. So I told them I promise I won't run with them, but so that was good. And they have cupcakes and everything like that. And yeah, it was cool to be a part of. And then I had my first fire department meeting, which was good. It was a lot to learn. I'd like to thank Janet for kind of bringing up speed on much of these things. Just some of the things that are talked about. I'm going into crazy detail, but this is some of the things are talked about. We're just working on the false alarms, on how we can help them out to come to a common goal for education on the false alarms. Just listening to them about just some of the struggles with training and stuff they have for volunteerism. It's really tough for training when people volunteer, and it also ties into the false alarms because people getting burnt out. Other exciting things for them is they got that CCAN out there now for training. More pieces are coming in, but that'll be great for them to be able to practice certain parts of their training, is like, building entry and stuff like that. So that's going to be a huge addition to the fire department. Other than that, it was, that's basically about it. I'd like to report a lot of it, I still have to follow up on, but it was nice to sit down and be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to more meetings in the future. And then other than that, the only other thing I really want to touch on is Dennis mentioned about the Flow Me Days. The volunteerism for Flow Me Days. So for me, right, like what I want to say about that is that people in the community, it's always the same people volunteering for Flow Me Days, yet everybody in the community absolutely loves going to it. Everyone from all over comes, brings their family. It's such a huge thing for our community. It builds friendships, builds more relationships, working relationships, the social relationship, everything you can think that builds it all. And it's all built around those couple of days from all the volunteers that do it year in, year out. But those volunteers are getting burnt out. And we need more volunteers, just as simple as maybe, working with youth sports teams and grads and stuff to help take down chairs and stuff like that, because it's always, those are volunteer things that can be done. And as far, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had even offered to pay certain people at certain times to do.
Sometimes we have to.
Right? So like, just kind of a community outreach for me is that, looking for some help for some of these items as far as Flow Me Days, for taking down chairs, setting up stages, stuff like that. Just, if you got kids working on a sports team that want to help out, just anything, just a little bit helps, because I can see it. People are getting burnt out. It's the same thing, yet we all enjoy Flow Me Days so much. I know I do, my family does, and all my friends do. So I just want to say that, not brief on anybody, but just come help out. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Dorward.
Well, I just want to add to that. I've chaired Flow Me Days in the past for a number of years, and I get it. I get it all. But I think it would be great. Like my family comes up now every year from out of town for Flow Me Days, and I would love for us, as part of our tradition, to go help set up.
Yeah.
Like a small, not an ongoing thing for me, but I think there's a lot, like if somebody said, hey, if everybody could come down to the park at 8 o'clock to help set up stage, there might be a whole bunch of people show up. And I know it's not good to rely on such short-term planning, but anyways, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I
So,
get it.
like we would show up if we
Yeah.
knew that, if we knew that,
Yeah.
like, come up for 1 or 2 hours to help set up or tear down. So I feel like that's for that aspect, as opposed to the ongoing many months planning,
Well,
exhausting, and I thank you so much for all the work.
I
you do.
got your phone number, so.
Call me, I will, I'd be like doing this. all part of it's all part of the experience. Okay, anyways, I have also been to the meeting with the Quagules, and yeah, it was great to meet the leadership out there. Again, common goals, and I think Trina alluded to it. We're hoping to get the Three Nations and us all together. I think that would be great. Looking forward to that. More meetings with them. I think they want to meet together soon again, right? Yeah, so that's good. Went to the Rexall grand opening, and just add to what Brian said there. Nice to have another place to get fresh dairy. And just like that, I hear the M&M meats are really popular, so. Yeah, I think, like just having more than one place to get fresh food. There's a few other places in town you can get box and cans, but
Yeah.
that's good. And today I went to the chamber luncheon and heard an update from Mayor Port Labatt, and of course I've heard it all before, but
Over and over again.
but it was good. And thank you for the update on that. The other part that in the questioning was about who's running the visitor center, and it's not entirely common knowledge yet that the museum's doing it. But it does sound like the chamber is able to focus more on the business community, and so I think that like the museum's gonna flourish, the chamber's gonna flourish, Port Hardy's gonna flourish. It's good. It's a good change. Yep,
Mhm.
that's it from me.
Thank you. So everything that everybody did, I was at except for the Rexall opening, which I was sorry to miss, or the grand reopening.
I ate
I
your cupcakes, by the way, so.
didn't save them for me.
Nope.
I think I'd like to just, a couple things. I would like to mention that I can officially announce that the Sinella Culturally Supportive Housing Society has officially got their grant that was applied for in December. So they're madly getting together and organizing. We've got, because I'm on the board, have an interim executive director, and it's all rolling really, really quickly. Had a meeting this afternoon, and there will be asks coming to the district, but as well, they're doing all these other things too on board development and hiring people, and yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm super happy that at a time of sadness, that this could possibly help the community. Mind you, it will be a long-term goal, but it will go on. Attended the meeting with the hereditary chiefs and the chiefs of the Guatemala Nation, plus all the other nations in the North Island, on the mental health, public health emergency in the North Island. And at the first meeting, it was mainly stories, heartbreaking stories.
Mhm.
The second meeting that was held that Councillor Dugas just referred to, that our CAO and Councillor Dugas and I were at, were on looking at more what's going on, what's coming up. And they brought up and they talked to Island Health representatives and the Aboriginal Coalition to End Homelessness. Brian Hutchinushi gave a presentation.
Mhm.
A doctor from Victoria gave a presentation on harm reduction. The RCMP talked. It was a lot of people talking about the different programs that are going on the island and are coming up here. I've also attended 2 of the 3 of the emergency youth meetings that I was privileged to attend with the health directors from the 3 nations, the Quabil, the Guasala Naquada, and the Quagus. Thank you. And so if anyone is interested, one of their reports is out at our front counter that lists the different asks that they've made to Island Health and to the First Nations Health Authority. And I'm really pleased to say that all their asks that they've asked so far have been approved and are happening. So one of the asks was for more mental health and addiction services that has happened.
Mhm.
There's a request for proposal that's gone out, so they'll be bringing more people in. One of the asks was for more RCMP presence up here. There is more RCMP presence up here. And if you haven't seen the press release from the RCMP, it's a direct result of the ask of bringing more RCMP up here. And another one of the asks was from First Nations Health Authority. So the asks were to First Nations Health Authority and Island Health, and now I'm getting mixed up with which one, it's funny which one, but was for a program coordinator to kind of organize what assets are available up here, how to make sure everything is covered, and they hope to have that program coordinator in place by this time next week. Other ask was for crisis intervention 24/7 over the weekends and having a phone line. And then if someone calls in, that there will be a worker, a trained worker that can go out. And that has happened. It was a soft start last weekend. They had a number of calls. Someone went out and helped whoever was suffering. The other ask was to the nations to have something for the youth over the weekend, or not over the weekend, over spring break. So there are, all of a sudden, there's nothing going on, so they wanted to make sure there was something going on. So the Quagga, the Quatsino, and the Guasala Naquada are going to be having a youth conference. Each nation is going to take one day and have a youth conference. They're working on transportation and all the rest of it, but all these organizations are coming together. So the first meeting I went to, there was representation from over 30 organizations that all dealt with youth. This last meeting, I think there was a few different faces, but over 30 as well. I was super, super honored to be invited to it, and just reiterate that the district is following the lead of the nations, that this is nation-led, and we will be supporting them where we can support them. It was pretty amazing, all these people working so hard together. And but that was good. What else? One of the positive things at the meeting we were at last week, just so many meetings, it's a couple of weeks, but last week was we were waiting to go into the big meeting with the hereditary chiefs and elected chiefs, and I was standing beside some counselors, elected counselors from Quatsino, and they said, we need to have a council-to-council meeting. And I said, you need to talk to your executive assistant. You've got an invite. We're there. You tell us when. So, and then we talked about having a big one, not just with our three big major nations around us, but also with the Nungies and including the regional district and making it a Mount Washington council-to-council meeting. So I thought that was very positive. And I think that's about. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have information and announcements. There's a number of meetings and a number of days that we're honoring. Anything that we've missed? I have no in-camera meeting yet. Motion to adjourn. Councilor Texel. Okay, any questions?
First, the comment and the first question, your water tower you're gonna replace, is there a time frame for getting it done? Or is it just open and when it's finished, it gets finished? Because what I'm wondering is, you got 1,700,000 you're okay to get this done. Is there a chance it can go over budget? And then us taxpayers gotta pay for this, or what's the score on that?
You want me to
Sure.
So the timeframe is 2024 at this point in time, subject to availability of the items. So we already have an engineer who's engaged, who's going to be
Yeah.
doing up the tenders for all of the work.
And you've
So-
given them a time frame of when, how long to do this? Because these towers have been done before. Well, they're in Fort Rupert, and Allison McCare was CO then, Director of Corporate Search. And she gave them a time frame to get this done,
Yes,
and it got done
yes.
in
And
that
so,
timeframe.
yeah, and as soon
Yeah.
as Stantec puts everything together, they'll set the timeframe.
Yeah.
That's reasonable for the district.
Yeah, because then we gotta pay for it, not just wondering, the only problem, if you gotta get done, get it done, I guess, you know, I don't know anything about that, you do. My other, comment is a comment here of concern. Under committee of whole, February 27th. Staff report, you're, looking at investigating residential water metering. Engage supplier for presentation on cellular network metering.